As we saw on the big screen, you donate your salary to the hospital. How meaningful is that for you to be able to do that for your own life?
I mean, to me, it means a lot, when I was kind of away from the game, trying to figure out what could motivate me to play for something bigger than just myself. Because like it was to me a big disappointment, but also throughout the process, you learn how to understand certain things. This new way of living, and my dad was my first believer. He spent his own money to allow me to perhaps follow my dreams and pay money out of his own pocket because he just believed that I could make it. I had a chance to give me a chance to make it in life. And I've always said, the goal in life is never to live forever, but to live something that will live forever. Obviously, he spent most of his time servicing people, and I think for me it was just. I think the day I pick up the phone and tell my agent that I was ready to play, one of the things that I did commit in the conversation, and what I told him was I wanted my salary for this year to go to the construction of the hospital for my dad, because I wanted, and I had a desire to build him something that one will have his name, and two, hopefully it goes for generation, and that will service people and continue to service people. Hopefully we can save as many lives as we can. I know he couldn't be here to witness that, but I'm sure he's happy on the other side that I get to do something for him. This is the least I could do for him, after all he has done for me, for my brothers, my sisters, and so many people back home that he has helped.
And this is obviously just a continuation of what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Is this the proudest moment for you during this process?
Not really, my dad and I, we've invested ourselves a lot in the foundation. It's been 10 years. My dad and I have been working together with the foundation. When I decided and we decided to come up with the idea of the foundation, it was just to service people. At the time, I never and didn't want to be able to get in front of cameras one day I retire and say, I was the only one that, that came from that place and that succeeded. We wanted to produce as many Bismacks as we can, whether it was in the medical field, whether it was, in sport, whatever that is, just finding ways to create opportunities. Obviously, we have, together we were able to accomplish a lot during that time while it was here, whether it was building schools, doing medical donations. Even when COVID hit, when we sent those containers back home back then, it was in charge of running those containers, and it was still sacrificing and making his time, to make sure that other people were going to survive as well, So the idea of, putting this public is also welcoming other people that feel comfortable enough rather to be part of this or to ever want to come to Congo with us. We always have our doors open. That was the whole thing with my dad. He welcomed everybody. And again, I was extremely blessed. God has blessed me so much, to be surrounded by amazing people. And I was fortunate enough to be in a situation and conditions where I could actually evacuate him and put him on a medical plane, give him the best care possible. But, when I first got home, going to those hospitals back home, my question was always, how about these people that cannot take their families out? I have the capability of doing that, and I could sit here and complain about it, and always ask myself these questions. But the reality of it is, even if my dad would have made it, I think we would have found ways to dive into this because I experienced it firsthand, and I really feel for these people. You go there and then they're fighting for their lives, and and there's only so much you can do at that time because you have your loved one that's also dealing with so much, and now your main focus is him, but you're also looking at the surrounding my God, I wish I could do something about this, you know. And I think, you know, this is the best way I find that, you know, that this year will be meaningful to me. It's not just the desire to go for a championship, but also the desire to save lives. And at the end of this season, I really want to be able to look back and say, you know, I dedicated this season to my dad, and we went for a championship. God will, we'll win a championship too. You know, like I will have tears, but it's not going to be tears of sadness. It'll be tears of joy because God has given me the opportunity to do something for others, and my dad will be able to cherish this on the other side. And, you know, we have had so many people reach out, they want to help. And I'm so thankful to everybody out there that really want to help. You know, I'm grateful because, you know, I do things here with some of the people that I never come across. And there's so many people that's helping, you know, back home that they never gonna meet these families they've been helping. So I'm extremely grateful to all these people and mostly the organization, you know, the Sons organization. I've play a big role in how we accomplished this. So I'm really thankful, not just for the opportunity to be here, but them seeing my vision and wanting to help me help my people. You know, it's a blessing to be part of, you know, this journey they're on. And hopefully at the end of the season, we can look back and really be grateful for what God has done for us.
Business. I think there's other player that comes to mind when it comes to giving back and building hospitals in the home country in Africa, being Dikembe Mutombo. You ever discussed or talked with him at all?
No, that's my big brother. You know, Dikembe is my big brother, man. I wish I had my phone on so I can call him, but I know you guys probably can't hear his voice on the phone. So, but no, it's my big brother. You know, he's one of the first person when I got home, you know, that I call, because when I got home, what we started doing is bringing in doctors, and one of the person that I called first was him. Like, do you have anybody that you can send my way, and anybody you can put me in touch? And then from there, obviously, I had to reach out to people outside of the country. But you know, Dikembe has done so much. But if you look at the statistics of how many doctors we have in the country, it's not just about building hospitals. It's also about producing doctors. You know, there is like one doctor for every, I think, 10,000 or 20,000 people in the country. And if you really think about it, is that we have over 80 million people, and it's one of the poorest country, but also one of the richest country as far as natural resources. The country is worth over $24 trillion. So I could sit here and complain about all these things that goes on and on. And, you know, my dad is, and I will always go back and forth, like, we are doers. We take actions rather than sit here and complain, and we educate the next generation. We have to build a platform so that hopefully a decade from now, we don't have to complain so much about the things we couldn't fix and information we couldn't pass on to the next generation, you know? So I think this is also an action that will hopefully start something. Hopefully we get as many guys as possible on board. I've had a lot of my friends and ex-teammates reach out, and, you know, like, to me, the idea is not even about the recognition, to be honest. Like, to me, it's just that I get to do something for my dad that hopefully my kids some days will be able to look back and say I did something, you know, with the problems and issues that the country was facing. So, you know, again, I'm always grateful to be in this position, because as a kid, you never once thought that this gonna be my position. You know, as a kid, you just wanted to play basketball and survive. And here we are, you know, playing at the highest level. And what's the most we could do for other people, you know? So.
Who are some of the people that have reached out and wanted to support you, if you don't mind asking?
A lot of my ex-teammates, actually. I can't say their names because I don't know how comfortable they are. There's one of my friends actually that's visiting as well. He wanted to be here on the announcements, and And it's just, and then we've put emails, we've received so many emails through social and social media messages. But the idea of this is like, I never want to be the guy that just go and ask people, hey man, this is my idea, I want you to support. I've always said I'm gonna put out my own money, and because I want people to understand that I'm not just asking them for an idea that I have. I believe so much in my idea that I'm willing to push as far as I can to make sure that this idea and dreams become reality. So, you know, initially we went back and forth. We didn't want to announce it because this decision, I made it back in November, and this is before I even get back to play. But then it was like, what's the point of doing something generous if you cannot give people at least an opportunity to be part of it, you know? So I think this is the way we find it was right. But, you know, whoever gonna feel comfortable enough to speak out about this, I'm sure they'll be here on the microphone talking about it.
How much does that support from teammates, from the organization you're playing for? How much does that mean? Because you go about it that way, and you want to put yourself,
right,
your money for yourself, but to see other people pick up on that and want to help, what does that mean to you?
And it's a blessing, you know. It's a blessing, and it gives me hope for the world we live in. You know, there's so much that goes on around the world that sometimes we tend to forget that there is also so many good people with kind heart that want to leave this place a better place that we found it, you know. So I cherish this moment because, you know, we all somehow connected. And, you know, and in this journey of life that we're on, we only have so much time here on earth. And I think as everybody trying to play the, you know, whether it's a big or small role in this journey, I think at the end of our days, we'll be able to look back and say we have achieved so much than we expected. And I'm just grateful to be in environments like this. You know, I think during the All-Star, I sent a message to the coach, just, you know, letting him know how grateful I am. You know, when I walk in here, they didn't have to welcome the way they welcome me, you know, like rather it was from a player perspective or coach's perspective, you know. And I walk in here like I've been here for a long time. And I didn't practice with the team or anything, but the game just feel, you know, I feel so much joy playing the game. And that's just after the first game, I was like, this was like the perfect situation because you get to enjoy the game. You play with guys that understand what, you know, winning means, you know, and that's, you know, to me, I never want to take these things for granted. You know, sometimes we tend to forget the position we're in, and obviously being in this environment with people not just want to support you on the court, but also off the court, it's a blessing. You know, the league have been amazing to me, and I think it is the right thing to reach out and save hopefully as many lives as we can. And if we can only save one life, you know what, we've done our part.
Bismack, was there a certain point in your career where you realized the platform that you had to meet people like us, for example, who are unaware of what's going on in the Congo, that you were going to be able to spread awareness with the magnitude that you can, being in your position?
You know, I started my foundation actually when I was 19. You know, this is how we started. Funny enough, you know, I was struggling sleeping, and this was after a season. We had a really bad season. And as a young guy, you come in, you have high expectation of yourself. You want to win. You work too hard, and then things wasn't going our way, and we had one of the worst seasons probably in the history of the league. And then I think the Sixers was after that. Back then we were the Bobcats, so I was really struggling with dealing with the season, right after the season, I was like, I need to go home. I need to go check on my family, you know. And I just woke up one day. I had this feeling where I was like, you know, I'm gonna do basketball camp. You know, I'm gonna grab about. I'm gonna go buy some shoes. like maybe 25 shoes. I call our equipment manager at the time, anything you have, I can take home for the kids. So he gave me a bunch of stuff. And then I had like 6 bags and just taking them. And I packed my speaker, you know, I called my brothers. I said, find me 20, 25 kids. I still got this picture somewhere. And I said, look, I'm gonna be the DJ, I'm gonna be the coach, and I'm just gonna have fun with these kids, and I'm gonna give them, you know, new pair of shoes, like new t-shirts, shorts, and all that stuff. So they could just have new stuff, because at their age, the first time I had my brand new pair of shoes was when I was 16, when I left the country. Never had a brand new pair of shoes while I was at home. So while I give some of them the shoes, they were looking at them going to hide, like they're gonna use it for school year and all that. I just had so much joy, you know, watching them go through the whole process. And then after that, I went home, talked to my parents, my mom and dad, and then I went home. I went to my hotel, slept like a baby, man. Struggling sleeping for 2 weeks. Slept like a baby. It literally was like this. And then the next day I woke up, I went and had a conversation with my parents, like, and I've been struggling sleeping for 2 weeks. And the first time I did this, I really like fall asleep. Like, just make an observation and see if it repeats itself. Maybe it's something you might start looking into. Maybe you were put in that position to service other people, you know. And then the second day I give them some more stuff. We had a great time, and I went back and slept like a baby again. I went and have a conversation with my parents, and they're like, maybe this is something you should look into. So I came back, had a conversation with my sponsors. They're like, yeah, we can support 100 kids. And then we were able to get gears from like Jordan Brand. So the following year, we had like 100 kids, and we had an amazing time. We had coaches, and we find some kids, and then we start giving kids scholarships. So it become a yearly thing where we'll go home, we do basketball camp, and then we'll give scholarships. So it was early on that I just had a desire to help people, but I had to go to something. But even when I was in Spain, I was helping the kids that was my age. I think it's just going in environments. You know, my dad has always helped people. You know, like we grew up in a house with 3-bedroom. My mom and my dad had their bedroom. We had the bedroom, the 1 bedroom for the girls, 1 for the boys. And the 1 for the boys, it was like 9 of us, you know, like 3 people per bed. And sometimes we didn't have enough food, but then you was always asking my dad, like, we don't have enough, but you're still welcoming more people, you know? It just don't make sense, but it was like, you cannot also abandon people, you know? Whatever we have to share with others. So we were raised in that mentality of sharing with others and caring for others. So, you know, it was like second nature to me when I got to the league. Like, thank God I've made money that my kids shouldn't have to worry, you know, my family. But I also think I was put in this position. I understand how important it is for me to be in this position. And I understand that there's an opportunity to do something, and I don't want to waste it, because we can only live for so long. God forbid, 10 years from now, I'm not here. And then, you know, like, is there ever, I gotta wait for right timing to do things, you know? So I think the opportunity is here to do it now. And, you know, I think those ones that perhaps we've been waiting for, and we have to take this opportunity. Otherwise, we'll be looking for the next generation to do so. They're gonna look for the next generation, so on and on. But if we could set a good example for the next generation, I think when they come in, they will do better than we are doing now.
It's like you're creating your own cycle, like a new cycle.
There we go. So, but again, I appreciate you guys for shining some lights on this. You know, I'm really grateful to you guys as well. I don't think without you guys, we'll be able to reach out to as many people. So thank you. And I hope you have a great day, man.
At least we do, man. Thank you.
Thank you.